Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Needlepoint TV. It's great to have you here with me today, and I can hardly wait for us to dive into our topic of the day, Silk Lamé Plus, a new thread, at least at the time of this recording, from our friends at Rainbow Gallery. So, what do you say we dive right in and take a peek at Silk Lamé Plus?
So this is Silk Lamé Plus. It's a needlepoint ribbon from Rainbow Gallery, and it is part of the Silk Lamé family of threads. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I absolutely love Silk Lamé threads. It comes in a Silk Lamé braid that's good for 13 mesh canvas. They also have one that's Silk Lamé braid for 18 mesh canvas, and then they also have a small, actually very tiny thread called Petite Silk Lamé braid. This is just another addition to that group of threads, and I am smitten with it. So you can see it right here. I have examples of 3 different colors. As of the time of this filming, there were currently 36 colors available because when I'm filming this is a relatively new thread for Rainbow Gallery. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then I'm also going to show you how to work with it. So in looking at it, you can see, when I pick up a card here, you can see that it's good for 13 to 18 count and needlepoint, and you can also use it for long stitches and cross stitch. So it has 72% silk and 18% rayon. That's the fiber content, plus 10% metallized polyester. That's what makes it sparkle. 10 yards on a card. It is hand washable, and they do recommend that you test it first, which I always recommend that you test any ribbon or thread that says that it's washable. And there is some information over on the blog post on the Serendipity Needleworks website that tells you how to actually do that. So you can test it and see if it's color fast, and if you follow those instructions, you should be good to go. All right, so the way you use this thread, and I've actually already pulled some of this off. So you, as with any Rainbow Gallery thread, it's wrapped on the card like this. And so when you unwind it off the card, it's going to have those little kinks in it. And there is an easy way to get rid of those. I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. The thing that I would love for you to do when you're working with this thread, don't cut more than 18 inches, pieces that are 18 inches long. I'm going to snip this off with just a pair of dressmaker shears. I don't use my good embroidery scissors when I'm working with any kind of a thread that has a metallic in it, because it will dull the blades. So you can use, yeah, these are just old dressmaker shears that I have, just an old pair of scissors. You can also use just some children's kindergarten scissors that you get, or craft scissors for cutting your metallic threads. There are special scissors made for cutting metallic threads, but you know, you definitely don't have to have those. All right, so you can see here, and let me move these up here out of the way a little bit. You can see that this thread has those folds in it, and that's because it's been folded around that card for such a long time. So a way to get rid of that is, I'm going to pull out my this is my flat iron that I use on my hair. So what I'm going to do, I have this set on the lowest setting, and I'm going to run it through the flat iron, and I'm going to try to do, let me get this in here so that I can get rid of those folds, and it makes it a lot easier to work with this thread when it's been ironed out like this. Now, if you have a craft iron, you can also use a craft iron to do this. This is a full-size flat iron. You can use those little travel flat irons, but mine is actually MIA right now. I don't know what I've done with it. I put it someplace, in such a safe place that I can't put my hands on it. So you can see, or well, you will be able to here in just a second, you can see how much difference ironing it makes. So it's very smooth and easy to work with. Now you'll also notice it has a tendency to fray just a little bit. So one of the tricks that you can use to fix that is to use a gadget called a thread zap. Let me grab my thread zap really quickly, and I'll show you how to do that. Okie dokie, this is my thread zap, and it's a gadget that I have used on all kinds of different threads, novelty type threads that have a tendency to unravel. So it's battery operated, and you can You put just a battery in the end. So all you have to do is just, I don't keep the battery stored in mine because yeah, I don't want the battery to corrode in there, but it just has that little cap and you just pop the battery in. It takes a AA battery, and super, super easy to operate this. If you can get the end screwed back on, there we go. And so, and it does get very, very hot. This is a heating element on the end, and you punch the button and the battery, it creates the energy, and you can see it's smoking right now because there's some residue on there from a previous use. But what it does, I'll just show you quickly on this piece of thread. So what you do is you take this, you push the button down, you can see I'm pushing down on it, and you gently touch it to the end of the thread. And what it does is it singes the ends and it keeps it from unraveling so much. So that is how you use a thread zap. And so let me put this away over here, and I also need to turn off the flat iron. So we'll do those two, get rid of those two gadgets quickly. And now I'm going to show you, I use a needle threader when I'm working with this thread. So I'm going to thread my needle up, and now I'm going to show you how I work with this ribbon type thread. So hold tight and I will get my frame and stand set up for you. Alrighty, ready to see how Silk Lamé Plus works on 13 mesh canvas? Terrific. All right, you can see that I have my needle and thread. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to the front of the canvas in the place where I want to begin stitching. And I'm going to just work, oh, I don't know, let's just do a brick stitch first. So I'm going to take my needle through to the back, and let me get my laying tool up here because I do need to use that in order to make this ribbon lay smoothly on the surface of the canvas. So again, I mentioned that this is 13 mesh canvas, but you can also use this thread on 18 mesh canvas. This is a really good substitute if you don't particularly like working with Silk Lamé braid 13. This is a really nice substitute. This is a much more pliable, it's a softer thread, and I just think it works really, really well. Now, you're not going to get full coverage with this thread on a straight stitch like the brick stitch if you're working on 13 mesh, but you will if you're working on 18 mesh. I have some examples of what this thread looks like worked on 13 and 18 mesh over in the blog post on the Serendipity Needleworks website, so be sure and check that out. All right, now I'm just going to drop down and come back over and work the second part of that first row. So let's see, here we go. Again, this is Silk Lamé Plus and 13 mesh canvas. I'm using a size 22 tapestry needle. So super, super easy to work with. You can see that it just, I mean, it's just a dream. I absolutely love this thread.
Now, I'll bet you might be wondering just exactly where you might use this thread. So I have some suggestions I'm going to give to you right now. These are some design components that you might think about using this thread on some of your projects that you have in your stash, or maybe you'll even find an excuse to go buy yourself a new project. So I have a list here, and I'm going to refer to my notes so that I don't forget anything. But angel wings, fancy dresses, insects, butterflies, bugs, fish, flowers, water, snow, let's see, sand, ice, birds, Santa's bag, of course, Christmas ornaments or other holiday pieces for that matter, because they do have a nice selection of colors, even though they only have 36 colors at the time of this recording. I'm sure they're going to be adding more, but the colors that they do have are really, it's a nice palette. So you can always go to the Rainbow Gallery website and look at their threads. Now, I'm not sure that they've added this one to their website yet, but I'm sure it'll be coming soon if it's not there yet. So other uses would be gingerbread houses, night skies, stars, the sun, the moon, and, well, pretty much anywhere else that you might want to add a little bit of sparkle. So give this thread a try. Remember, it can be used on 13 and 18 mesh canvas. Just keep your pieces cut on the shorter side, no longer than 18 inches. use some type of a some type of a way, a method for treating the ends, whether that be with Fray Check, which is a liquid that you can apply to the ends to prevent fraying, or the thread Zapp, which is what I showed you in our demonstration earlier. But you do want to treat the ends and just have fun. It's a terrific thread. I know you're going to love it. If you've already used it, make sure you tell me down in the comments below. I would love to know what you used it for. And don't forget to subscribe too. If you want to subscribe and make sure that you get all of the notifications about when we have a new episode over here on our YouTube channel, click the subscribe button and also click that little bell so that you'll know right away when we have something in case I go live or whenever we upload a new episode. So that'll make sure you get all the notices that you ever possibly could want to get about Needlepoint TV. Thank you ever so much for joining me here today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, happy stitching. Bye for now.